KFR Talk. You're listening to Focal Point with Brian Fisher.
Focal Point with Brian Fisher.
Oh, happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary. Pour a cheerful toast and fill it, happy anniversary. But be careful you don't spill it, happy anniversary. Oh, happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary.
That song, lovingly dedicated, that's the Flintstones singing Happy Anniversary, lovingly dedicated to my bride of 37 years as we celebrate our anniversary today. Couldn't think of anything more touching, more romantic, anything that would set the mood for an anniversary celebration other than the Flintstones singing that touching song. Let's, while we're waiting for the phones to line up, 888-589-8840 is the number to call. You know, President Obama, let's grab audio clip A9, Rob. President Obama is widely touted as the most gifted orator of a generation. Chris Matthews talking about the fact that he became his rhetorical brilliance. He got there way ahead of time. He doesn't work and play well with others. He never learned that, doesn't get along with people. Doesn't know how to sit down with them and play cards other than with Reggie Love while the Navy SEALs are hard at work. He knows how to do that. But sitting down with the other politicians and trying to hammer out these backroom deals, he doesn't have a clue about that. He's clueless. He's helpless. But soaring rhetoric, you can't find anybody who is a more gifted speaker and orator than President Obama. Now, you and I know that he commits gaffes all over the fruited plain. Now, here's another one. Now, this, you know, people do this all the time. I mean, people do this all the time. I mix up names on the air. Everybody does it. Everybody makes these mistakes. But the reason I play this is because the left wants to put President Obama on a pinnacle that nobody else occupies. He is the most gifted orator in the history of civilization. He is in an orbit all by himself. He is in his own planet when it comes to soaring rhetoric and oratory. And here he is blowing the name of the mayor of Buffalo. The mayor of Buffalo, his name is Brian Brown. Is that right, Jeff?
Yes, sir.
The name of the mayor of Buffalo is Brian Brown. Now,
or Byron.
Or Byron.
Yeah.
Is it Byron Brown?
Yeah.
So his name is Byron Brown. This is not a difficult name to handle, to remember, to speak. Here is President Obama at Buffalo this morning.
Your outstanding mayor, Brian Higgins, is here. Give him a big round of applause. What? Byron Brown. I'm sorry, Byron.
What I meant to say. So he got them both wrong. His name is Byron Brown, and he called him Brian Higgins, and you heard the crowd react. They weren't going to let him get away with that. So I assume either they like their mayor, this Byron Brown guy, or they were offended that his name would be botched so badly. So that is the most gifted orator. This is a guy that calls him corpseman. This is a guy that talks about 57 states. This is now a guy that refers to a mayor in Buffalo, New York, by the wrong name first and last. Well, let's go to the phones. Let's begin with Janelle in Conroe, Texas. Janelle, welcome to Focal Point with Brian Fisher. What's on your mind?
Thank you. I work in healthcare, and I just want to say that there's nowhere else that you can go and get healthcare for free when you don't even belong here. I mean, if you're here illegally, that makes you a criminal. No matter what you say, you are a criminal because you don't belong here.
Well, you know, let me just interject here, Janelle. I want to hold your thought because I want you to pick up, but this is exactly right. I mean, it may sound harsh, but the simple truth is if somebody is here and they have trespassed, that's a criminal act. If somebody trespasses on your private property, that is a criminal act. That's a criminal offense. They're a criminal. I mean, it's the definition of being a criminal is you commit a crime. It is a crime to cross our border without permission. Anyway, go ahead, Janelle.
Right. And let me just say that I have a cousin that lives in Mexico, and she's a missionary in Mexico, and they don't get free health care there, and her daughter doesn't get to go to school for free. They have to pay for everything they have down there.
Mm-hmm.
Believe you me, every year they have to do the proper paperwork, or they'll be kicked out of the country.
Well, and you know, in Mexico, they do not mess around. I mean, it's a crime to be there illegally in Mexico. It is a crime. They lock you up for that, and they deport you. I mean, they don't let that pass. They discover that you're there illegally, then you get jailed and you get deported. No ifs, ands, or buts. You know, and Janelle, you mentioned the fact that Americans go down there. They have to prove to the Mexican government that they are not going to be a drain on taxpayer resources. If they don't go down there with resources to sustain themselves, they're not going to get in the country, because the Mexican government is determined that nobody's going to come to Mexico illegally and start drawing down on taxpayer resources. And another thing, in America, clearly what the Democrats are about here is trying to register another 11 to 57 million Democrat voters. That's why I call it the Marco Rubio Permanent Democratic Majority Amnesty Plan. Well, in Mexico, Janelle, and you know this from your family, you can't participate if you are not a native-born Mexican. You can't participate in the political system in any way, shape, or form. You can't vote. You can't donate. You can't run for office. So, it strikes me, Janelle, if we just kind of use the immigration policies of Mexico, we'd probably be in pretty good shape.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're not running down there to get there. So.
Yeah, that's right. So, all right, Janelle, listen, I appreciate the call. Thank you very much for that. And here we are helping Mexico secure its southern border so they don't have to deal with an influx of illegal aliens. 3-tier security system, 100 miles into the border. We're spending $2 billion, to help Mexico not have to deal with the problem of illegal immigrants from lands to the south of them. Well, how about we spend the $2 billion up here? And part of it, you think about this, the Obama's justification for doing this is, well, a lot of the drug trafficking and a lot of the human trafficking comes up from Central America. And this is a true fact. A lot of it does come from there. So we want to stop it. This is really in our best interest to kind of stop it at the southern border of Mexico. Well, listen, if we just stop it at our southern border, then where's it going to go? It's going to go back to those. If the whole point of them coming across the southern border of Mexico is to get into the United States, what happens if they can't get into the United States? What happens if our border is sealed up tight? There's no way they can get in. They got no place to go but hang out in Mexico or go back home. So we solved the same problem by spending that $2 billion on our own southern border. And I believe it just shows respect for Mexico. Look, that's your southern border. We respect your right to do whatever you want to do down there. That's really your responsibility. It's not ours. And we're not here to tell you what you have to do or should do with your southern border. That is up to you. But likewise, what we do with our southern border is up to us. Let's go to Cody in Millington, Tennessee. Cody, welcome to Focal Point with Brian Fisher. What's on your mind?
Yes, Brian, thank you for having me. I was just wanted to make a point, or actually I wanted to clarify your position on the financial, the aid, I guess is what it's called, to Egypt, because I thought I heard you say the other day that you wanted to suspend the aid, but I was just wondering, if we did that, to me it seemed like the people who would benefit from that would be the Muslim Brotherhood. But I didn't get to hear any more of your stance. I just heard it partially the other day.
Yeah. Well, I'm probably with Rand Paul on the issue of foreign aid. I think I'm with Rand Paul on that. That ought to be used very sparingly. I think deployments of our military should be very sparing. They only should be deployed when vital American national interests are at stake. I don't want to spend American treasure. I don't want to spill American blood unless it is to protect our sovereign interest as a people. And I look at all this money that we have spent in Egypt. We're sending them tanks and planes and $85 billion in foreign aid, and that was going to the Brotherhood. I mean, that's the deal that we got to realize. In the last year, it's been absolutely brutal under Morsi for Coptic Christians there. Under Brotherhood rule, our resources, our military supplies, the foreign aid we've sent down there, has been used by the government of Egypt under Morsi to persecute Christians. So, what did we get? What did we get for $85 billion? We got the persecution of Christians, and now that the Brotherhood is out of power because Morsi has been replaced, now they're still taking their vengeance out on Christians. So, I think what we ought to do, frankly, Cody, in Egypt, is we ought to provide asylum to any Coptic Christian that would like to find a place of refuge from that kind of violence. We're a Christian nation. I believe we ought to make asylum available for Christians in Muslim countries who live in mortal fear of their lives, and they do right now in the country of Egypt. All right, well, listen, I appreciate that call, Cody. Let's go to Connie, last call of the hour. Connie, Southeast Missouri, what's on your mind?
Good afternoon, and thank you for
Connie,
taking
are you with
my
me?
call. I just wanted to put a
Are
little
we
bit
not picking
of-
up Connie? Or am I not hearing something? Okay, Connie, are you with us?
I'm here.
Okay, I think that was my bad. I think I accidentally unplugged my earbud. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay.
Go right
I
ahead.
just kept on talking.
All right. Well, you have to start over because I didn't hear anything you said.
Okay, well, I said I just wanted to input a little bit on the illegal problem we're having.
Yes.
Illegal immigration.
Uh-huh.
We've had it for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like each time we have an election, we settle and believe what's being told us. And it's all been a lie.
Yeah.
The fact remains is all of this, and they are coming over here in droves because of a council called the National Council of La Raza. They're the ones that's bringing them over here.
Yeah. Well, and that's a good point, Connie, and I appreciate your call, and we're up against a hard break, so I'm going to have to let you go. But La Raza is behind a lot of this illegal immigration activity, and La Raza means the race. I mean, that's Spanish for the race. So that is an explicitly racist organization. They're not about equality and justice and liberty for all. They're about promoting the interest of one particular race. So they're a racist organization to the core, and they're driving a lot of this illegal immigration traffic. Focal Point AFR Talk back after the news.